We were just talking shit for a while, eh?
Yeah.
Brought me back to do the food show in the for the Rugby World Cup in the cloud. So we designed that and ran that, and I was supposed to just come and do that.
I had a real busy morning the other day. Lost my phone for an hour. Found it on the roof of my car.
Everyone in Sydney, eats to live, whereas everyone in Melbourne lives to eat.
You're listening to the Pepper and Me podcast, Around the Dinner Table with Cherie, Cam and Lorne, where we chat all things food and business. Welcome back to Around the Dinner Table. We've had a few weeks break because the last podcast that Campbell and Lorne did without me. How did you think it went? Should we do a self-review?
We were just talking shit for a while, eh?
Yeah.
It was good. I thought it was great, actually.
Oh, you thought it was good?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
well that's good.
What did you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
Obviously not. Is that just because you were jealous you weren't there?
Yeah, maybe I was just jealous. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we need to put a bit more work into this podcast. It'd be a bit more structured and a bit more less all over the show and a bit more informative and a bit more depth to some things and less ramble. Which is
the power of perspective, right? Because you worked in it and you listened to it from a different perspective, and that gave you thoughts and feelings.
I did, but I've been feeling that for a while. But then I commented, someone put up on the TikTok and they said, we actually do like listening to that. We love listening to about your kids or whatever, just ramble. But then I've had chefs come up to me and be like, hey, you're actually doing something really cool with that podcast. Why don't you make something of it and actually be a voice for the hospitality people and talk about mental health and talk about big issues and get people on who have some really good advice to contribute rather than just talking about your kids and what food you like. I'm like, fair. So if we
I reckon just do all of it.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So we're here today. I've got Campbell here and I've got Mimi here from Burger. Do you want to do a 1 minute intro?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, 1 minute. We'll cut it down.
I was born into the hospitality industry. My mother was a pioneer in New Zealand, in Auckland specifically, and had this bougie as sort of French bistro in the late 70s and 80s. And then she had a nightclub. My uncle ended up being a chef and he cooked in that. And then he actually had a food company called Cato for a long time. And he sold that. And then my other uncle, her other brother, was a winemaker. So my family, I was brought up around a table very much. Hospitality has been at the centre of my life. And I got taught to cook and host as soon as I could walk, basically. And it's how my family communicates love and shows respect. And that's how I ended up with restaurants. Full circle. So my dad's actually a medical entrepreneur. So very entrepreneurial parents from both angles. And I actually did a fine arts degree, weirdly, but not weirdly. I did a fine arts degree and I went into advertising for years.
Yeah.
And I did a full circle and went back into
Hospo.
Cool
little, great little package though. So interesting. I love talking about our strengths last night. That was so funny because we've just been doing big strengths training, Clifton Strengths. And we've done the whole team. And it's so fascinating, eh?
Yeah, it is.
It's so Campbell's number one is competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never.
Command as well,
Did you?
Yeah.
And strategic.
Yeah.
The one that surprised me was belief, but I'm very deeply
I see that a lot with the skincare business and all the things you're doing with that. It's so much deeper than skincare.
I think my mum just always said that I've just never been afraid of if I think I can change or contribute to something, I'm just not afraid to throw everything at it.
Yeah.
And I'm like a dog with a bone.
Yeah.
And it's when they're your strengths, they can be your strengths and they in the same breath are your weaknesses.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? They did say that you think you want to do your full 34, you think your number 33 and 34 are going to be your weaknesses, but it's your strengths turned up too loud. That's what Josh says.
Yeah.
It's so true. So mine's activator and that is my absolute weakness. I just jump into things without thinking.
Yeah.
I'm just go. Everyone else gets left behind. I don't communicate what's happening in my head. I'm just doing things.
Yeah. We're making a new product and it's on the shelf tomorrow.
Yeah, literally.
Where the fuck have you been,
Yeah.
What was your, is it Woo? Or where'd
Woo,
you come into
yeah.
it?
So
Woo's
activator, strategic, Woo, adaptability.
Yeah.
And I had ideation, ideas.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing how
I
you
know.
can
and you're like, how am I this transparent that this one test just
I know.
put me on the table?
I
I'm
know.
like, God.
I know.
Do you know what's also really cool is the enneagrams?
Oh, yeah.
It's a really
What are they? So
Similar sort of thing, but more personality profiling, I guess.
yeah, it's more personality profiling. Like I think we use StrengthsFinder. I think it's really interesting because it gives a more practical and tangible way of understanding your personality, you know, rather than just telling you what type of person you are.
Yeah. how to
So
use it,
Enneagram puts you on a scale of 1 to 9, and it's just mind blowing. So you're generally like your dominant one, and then you've got wings either way. It's like it's definitely. I'm not sure whether it initially came out of the Christian church, maybe, but like it's just so full on. My sister-in-law is like deeply obsessed with it. I love it. Yeah,
Funny.
it has my
What
husband's
what's
whole
yours?
family is. I'm a 3.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna tell you.
I
I
think
don't know
I'm a
what they're-
7, I'm
what
pretty
they're
sure.
called.
1 to 7.
doing your ADD test again. Or
I've definitely got ADD.
Yeah,
too.
so
100%.
Lost the complete
I lost.
other end.
I had a real busy morning the other day. I lost my phone for an hour. Found it on the roof of my car.
Oh my god. So also, I reckon love languages on a personal level, I think is also a really amazing framework.
Yeah, that's
That
quite.
area of your life, I think it's an
Yeah,
amazing.
that's-
It's just a good framework to communicate more effectively with
Yeah, it's
people.
actually real helpful.
Yeah.
Mine's acts of service, and
I'm an acts of service too,
yeah, and that's how I show.
and gift giving weirdly, but I receive in quality time
Yeah. Okay.
and physical touch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Weirdly.
Okay.
That was quality time.
Yours because quality time. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. No, I like because I guess that's cooking comes into cooking. Like I cook to show love for people. That's how I like communicate, or that's how I say thank you.
You're very good at it too.
Yeah, but like sometimes people don't see it as that. They're like, oh, you're just cooking. I'm like, no, that's me saying thank you.
You see, my husband needs
Me
words.
kissing
My
you.
husband, my husband's a big words of affirmation person, and
Oh, yeah.
I just don't need words.
Neither. Matt's
I
his
just-
words, and he
yeah.
needs words from me, and I'm not very good
I'm
at giving
practicing
them.
it. I suck. Okay, so 2 is the giver, 3 is the achiever, 4 is the individualist, 5 is the investigator, 6 is the skeptic, 7 is the enthusiast,
That's me.
and then 8 is the challenger, and 9 is the peacemaker, and 1 is the perfectionist.
Ooh,
is it
yeah,
just-
that'd be you. I'd
So,
be.
you reckon?
Yeah.
So how does this a bunch of questions? You
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah,
yeah,
usually
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
have to go
yeah.
and do it. Okay, all
Okay,
right.
great, we're off.
We'll get back to food. What's the best thing that's been on your plate in the last few weeks that you've eaten?
I just had a really delicious toasted sandwich at
Blondie.
Blondie
Yes.
in Mount Maunganui
New diner.
with this
Deli diner.
3 types of mushrooms and cheese. It was a really good time. Like like all kids hate mushrooms, and then you grow up and you're just like, I got. Do you like mushrooms?
I do, but I don't love them. Like there's not many foods that I don't like get amped for, but you like love them,
Yeah,
eh?
the mushrooms are.
And I've weirdly I've always been quite into truffle, and like I had this big $400 truffle last year, and I was all over it. And then this year, I don't know what's happened to me, but I just can't stand it. Like my taste buds must have just completely changed, and I'm
I
like,
have a love-hate relationship with truffle because I think it's bastardized often.
yes, with the truffle oil sometimes.
And it's very different to like actually eating a truffle. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're like completely different
Yeah,
experiences. And I think the beauty of a fresh truffle is that it's actually quite subtle.
it's much more delicate than
Whereas
the
like
essence.
the truffle essence is just like smacks you in the face, and it's just like
Yes,
It's
it's
much,
quite
like
strong.
lose the
Yeah,
beautiful subtle elegance of it.
You
in a
do,
way, you know?
yeah, when they're like-
it's
Yeah.
just yeah.
and it's not even real truffle. It's
It's not
like
real
the
truffle.
essence,
It's
yeah.
just
You know, they use it alpino on the pizza. Yeah.
We
Oh,
love
you know,
Alpino.
we
We love
you either
Alpino.
love
It's a
love
good
or love
time.
it. Hey, we do love Alpino too. It's
So fun.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
and that's what great hospitality is about, you know, like the whole package. And sometimes you're just like, I'll forgive you for the truffle oil because I'm having a great time.
When you walk into, say, like walking into Blondie,
Yes.
are you like, what are you thinking about in terms of like the cafe itself? Are you always looking at like,
Do I analyze the living daylights
Yeah.
out of it? Yeah, I mean, I can't not.
Mm.
My initial reaction when there was like, it felt really comfortable. I thought they'd done a really beautiful job of like it's obviously themed, but it doesn't feel
Mm.
kitschy.
yeah,
And I just also look at I think I love it when you see someone who's young and they've started a business and you can tell that they've done so much of it themselves. You know, like they've done something really clever,
Yeah.
like they've just painted the tile
Yeah.
on the concrete floor. Like, I love that. And for me, it's just like, obviously, you know, a couple of some friends who have like started something. When the chick served me, she was American, so it's obviously where the diner, you know, like it was just, yeah. I do look at it. Sometimes I look at things like layout, noise, what's working, what's not working. Like, I can't help it. I'm like, oh, it's too noisy in here. They need to do. Like, there is things that I think about because I, you know, design restaurants. And when you design restaurants, we think about like, actually, our mount one was the hardest because it was a really weird shape.
It is a funny shape.
Room, and it had glass on so much of it to try and make that not feel like it was going to be a horrible modern glass box. And that's why we kind of put the, you know, like we broke it up into all those different spaces.
Partitions, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it's real cool though. Like, it's.
It really challenged me, that space, but I think it's it's such a, considering it's just a giant modern box, it feels really cozy in there.
And those kids' toys, like.
Oh, yeah, they hammered. The
like-
boys are always like, can we get rid of these kitchens? And I'm like, no.
No, having a kids' kitchen in there is just an absolute game changer. Like,
Yeah.
it just changes everyone's lives. It's so good.
I know.
Kids are happy. There's fries, there's burgers, there's toys. Everyone's happy. It's so good.
I mean, I think hospitality is, you know, you've got to wear it on your sleeve, like, and your heart on your sleeve to go into it. But at the end of the day, there's also just like, you've got to get strategic. And so when I walk into a restaurant like that, I definitely look at it from what is working in here, what's not working in here, you know, and pick up things from all those experiences.
Yeah, I guess it's probably the same thing to like when you taste a dish, you're probably always like analysing it to some extent, you know, like from.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes. Usually I just be quiet and enjoy it though. There's not often where I'll be like.
I just go back to the same places that I know are going to deliver what I expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate being disappointed.
Yeah. I've got a pet hate for bad service. That's my like buzzkill. That'll ruin my meal more so than a, you know, like average piece of food.
What's been on your plate, Cherie?
Oh, we've brought back the hot pot at home.
Yeah,
hot pot night.
It's
sick. It's so fun because we had girls' night on Saturday night, and it's so easy. You just buy the broth flavors from the Asian shop. You just spicy and a mushroom, and then I jazz it up with like whatever. And then I've got a garden full of Asian greens. So I had like bok choy, choy sam, Asian cabbage, heaps of coriander with chilies, and then you get the sliced meats from the Asian supo, and then you just do all the condiments like Kewpie, sesame mayo, chilies, spring onions, like mung beans, and anything and everything.
So it's like a smorgasbord, and you can just like.
So you do it all raw, and then you put the pot on the table on the fire.
Oh, wow!
And it's like Korean barbecue, but in a soup and like a broth.
Oh.
So you dip your bok choy and your.
Yeah,
whatever,
blanch,
you put your
the old
tofu
blanch
and then you give it a little stir, and you can even have the spice, like
fondue night.
literally like that.
Yeah,
and it's so fun, eh? It's really like interactive. The girls had never had like the spicy one. The Szechuan is absolutely like so spicy, but I love it. I love it.
So buzzy, yeah.
It's so different. It's like probably the only time I'm love the Szechuan. But yeah, you make beef, pork slices, like tofu balls, and then the greens, and then you pull it out and you put your dressings on. And mushrooms bobbing around, yeah.
I worked for, Neil Perry a little bit when I first moved to Sydney, and they had a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And they used to do this like lamb pancake. So it was like a almost like a rice bread. It was like a you know, the same bread that they make like a pork bun out of.
Yeah.
But it was flat, and it had this like spicy lamb mince in the middle.
Oh, yum.
And and then they just fry it on both sides.
Yum.
And then it came with this like hot Szechuan oil on top of it. And so it was kind of like spicy but doughy, and then your mouth was numb, and it would have like must have had some like shitloads of coriander or something on it, or no spring onion or something.
Yeah,
it was like
green top. Yeah,
oh,
that's dreamy, eh? Yeah, I love the buns. So we buy the buns. We got spring onion buns the other day, and then little soupy dumplings, and I'll put those in the steamer basket on the table as well, and we all just sit around all night and like just eat, and it's really fun. And I haven't done it for a few years, but like loved it. Everyone loves it. Yeah,
and it's just like a great way to like you can pick and choose from so much as well.
You can, and it's cheap. Like, well, I did grow all the veggies, but it's real cheap.
Yeah.
As opposed to, and way better for you than doing like Italian, because I'm just like constantly on the Italian buzz, and we'll have like.
Drove my life. I'll tell you.
All the
I'll tell you
cheeses,
another lie.
all the breads, all the pasta. There'll be gnocchi, there'll be tiramisu. Like,
Oh my god!
oh,
How much do you love
Good though.
cheese?
I just love cheese so much.
So much. It's a problem.
Cheese, chili, and focaccia. Oh, do you know what else?
Oh my god! Can I just tell you one thing before
Yes.
I forget? So a few weeks ago, someone gave me basically a slice of like a beautiful sourdough baguette.
Yep.
Butter.
Yep.
Like a good, nice slob of butter. A Orta's anchovy.
Yep.
And then just grated like shitloads of lemon zest on top of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, stunning.
I was like, you've literally just changed my life.
Yeah. This,
It is. You just.
how good's a good anchovy, eh?
I love anchovies in things.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. If someone had said to me, put butter in an anchovy and shitloads of lemon zest and a piece
You'd be like, too
I would
much.
be like, and it was just epic. It
But
was
you
like the
have
most-
to
it was
have
so balanced. It was
quality
just like-
anchovy.
Oh, and Orta's anchovies all the way.
They are, right?
Oh.
So good. Where did I have one? Oh, we had a tin the other night somewhere at a
You could
restaurant.
probably get them
Eggs
from,
again?
what's the place? What's the place here? That's like Sabato, but it's called
Oh, Sergo? No.
no.
The like fine food shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
down in
oh,
town.
Vetro.
In
on-
Tauranga.
yeah, Vetro.
Vetro.
Yeah.
They probably sell
Yeah,
them.
they do. They have them. Yeah. Yeah. Where did I have them at a restaurant? Oh, I like to have them. We have to have them at Alpino, and we get the beef carpaccio and then get a tin of anchovies and like smear the anchovies on the beef carpaccio and then the garlic flatbread. And that's
Oh.
like the ultimate mouthful.
Get yourself some anchovies.
Yeah, so nice.
Today.
Did you have? Did we have something like
Yeah,
that? No.
yeah. I remember last time I had them was up at Peachy. And the,
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
was it with
yeah.
The mozzarella
yeah.
and the tomato.
He's a vibe.
Yeah.
Peachy's a
I reckon
vibe.
it's bloody great, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody great. Actually, my friend who gave me the anchovy situation is dating Jono, who
Oh.
is Peachy.
Oh, I'd like to go for dinner at their house.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
think
that.
you need to like.
I
I think
like
with
that.
anchovies, I think people will probably just like when they look at the price of them. But do you know what? Worth every
100%
freaking
worth it.
penny.
What's your favourite restaurant in Auckland?
We were just talking about this the other day because I haven't gone out much lately because
Yeah, you've got a baby. Yeah.
But I'm a bit of a like creature of habit these days because I don't go off and I just want to go somewhere where I know. I go to Lillian quite a lot
Yeah.
because
It's
I'm
always good, eh?
It's just yeah,
It's been good for
it's
forever.
always good.
Yeah.
I just like always get like some delicious pizza and then I get the like the charcoal eggplants with the agrodolce
Mm.
and the buttermilk cod salad and I'm like those weird people who love I get like pizza and then I put the salad in and eat like a sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I love hot and cold food together.
Ah.
I love hot and cold food and I love hot and cold and the crunchy with the so I just like that just
Yum.
fills me up. And they make great
Nice.
cocktails and it's just a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
But I have been to like there's some really great places on K Road.
Yeah.
Like Demasi's Street's always just delicious.
Yeah.
Matt went to Floor.
Oh, yeah.
and was sending me pictures and just said it was like the
Yeah.
most delicious thing he's eaten in forever.
Mm.
So that's on my list. I went to Bar Celeste a few weeks ago. It's called Celeste. They've
Oh,
actually
yeah.
moved to pizzas, which were also
Have they?
delicious. Yeah,
I've
I
had
mean,
a few nice meals there. I just found it really expensive. But
um,
maybe that's just sort of like standard.
Auckland.
Well, I don't know. I think we were doing a little like wine bar tour on K Road, and we went to like 4 wine bars, and
Yeah.
we have a drink and a snack at each place. And that one was like $150. I was like, we only had one. I don't know what happened. Maybe they mischarged us or something. But
Yeah,
that's what I had
down
in
the
my head.
road is. Oh my god, what is it called? Oh my god, my brain is so broken. A pedo, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
So good.
Okay.
Also, and also I just eat quite a lot of fat. My sister's owns fat is a co-owner of Fatima's, and
Oh, really?
I
Cool.
love Fatima's.
Hey, do you
so
know
I probably
what?
eat that like once a week.
I used to work at Rocket Kitchen.
Did
on Ponsonby
you? Oh
Road.
my god.
Yeah, it was back when you guys first started Burger
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
remember working down from there, and that was like I was just being. It was when I just come back off the yacht, so I was like doing catering and stuff.
Wow, that was an institution.
Uh,
My sister got pissed with some of her mates, and they bought the burger joint, and so she did bird and wire there.
Yeah, she did bird
When
on a
they got
wire,
pissed
right?
and bought it off Trade Me one night for like $1
Wow.
for $1, I think, and then they did bird and a wire, and then she sold bird and a wire, and then is bought into Fatima's with Kirsty.
Cool.
Yeah, and so
I
they're
didn't know that. That's awesome because your sister's a powerhouse too, isn't she?
she's a boss.
I
yeah.
only I was in that company of women.
Oh yeah,
Are you in that?
I
What?
used to
Like
be. I used to be on the
ye-
board, and then
yeah, you
I
did.
left and volunteered Sophie, and now she's on the board.
Yeah.
Um,
So I've like heard her speak a few times and
Yeah,
always
yeah.
seen her at those sort of things.
Sophie's, we're so different, but we definitely very much share our love of hospitality. It's,
Yeah, cool.
So she has a hospitality consultancy business
Yes.
as well, and then she has a shared. Well, it's the village is started as a shared workspace, and it very much that is what it is. But it also they rent it out for events. So I
Cool.
actually just had my 40th birthday party there.
Oh,
And
cool.
we did a dinner party. It was supposed to be a dinner party for 40 people, and it turned into a dinner party for 50.
Yeah.
But we had like 7 tables.
Yeah.
And every course, everyone had to swap tables.
Oh, cool. So
So
you
I've
have to
done-
mix and mingle and
Yeah. It was so good because it was quite a mix,
that.
and everyone was just like, "Was it a good time, Matt? It was a good time." It was
Too
too fun. Yeah, it was.
Who did the
best.
who did the cooking?
A friend of pardon? Yeah, Alfie. A friend of my friend Lauren's and and Sophie's.
Okay.
Yeah, Alfie, and then Petra Petra worked with him. She does burnt butter, but she was cooking with him and then did the dessert.
Cool.
But my sister organised the food.
So do you cook lots at home? Do you love cooking at home?
It's my love language for sure. I don't cook as much as I'd like to, but 100%.
Yeah.
It's my favourite thing to do in the world.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
my
cool.
it's my
Yeah.
and my you said acts of service, like
Mm.
cooking for people is what I love most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
And I'm sure teaching my daughter how to, she gets
Cook.
in
Yeah.
there and but I don't like cook during the weekend very much. Like I just got to get this,
Yeah, I'm a bit
How do
the
I sneak
same.
vegetables into this food for my child?
It's a different
Kinda
world, eh?
game.
You're like, I love food so much, and like, here I am making a one-pot pasta and trying to
yeah.
peel courgettes to hide the colour.
Yeah. Excellent.
What a sad life I
Yeah,
live. Because it's just me and the kids at home most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't cook for just myself.
Yeah.
So like,
You just eat what? Yeah.
I'm terrible. I'll just have like toast.
Toast. Totally. I get so busy eating toast. It's terrible.
Yeah, everyone's like, do you cook like this every night at home? I'm like, no, I do. I cook lunch for the team here most days at work. So we'll have that'll be my proper meal, and then I'll just like pick at whatever I'm making the kids or.
Have you ever just sidetracked? What I do make myself quite a lot is this Nigella Lawson. I don't know who gave me the recipe. Maybe Sophie did, but it's like a 1-pot chicken. So you basically put into a pot like dried tarragon, lemon zest, lots of garlic, a little bit of chili, and then you put the whole chicken in and you fill it up and chop in like a leek or 2
Yeah.
and some carrots. Just
Yeah.
chuck it around the side, put it in the oven for an hour, and then like you take it out, pour the orzo around the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Put it back in for like 15 minutes, and then you just take it out, shred all the chicken off, bit of parmesan, bit of
And a 1-pot
parsley, and
thing.
it's a 1-pot. It's it's like a cuddle in a bowl.
Yeah, we do a lot of recipes like that because
Yeah.
that's what we want to teach people, stuff like that, because it
Yeah.
just works for
You
their
should do that
family.
spice nuts. There you go.
Tarragon's so good, eh?
Tarragon is one of the best herbs on the planet. And
Tarragon and fennel are like
Oh,
my 2 favourite
same.
things at the
I
moment.
fucking love fennel as well.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that there's 2 types of tarragon, and one of them tastes like nothing, and the other one tastes like magic.
Yeah.
So French tarragon is actually tarragon, and Russian tarragon doesn't taste like anything.
Doesn't taste like anything. Oh, well, there you
There you
go.
go.
What's your favourite herbs, Campbell?
Time.
Thyme.
Yeah, I love thyme.
Thyme?
Yeah.
Are you a big meat person?
No, not massive, but I just love
Thyme's
that.
beautiful. It's an elegant herb.
I
It
love
is
it with
elegant.
chicken,
It's
eh?
a bit fussy, a bit fiddly.
A little fiddly.
Sometimes I get
love
bored.
thyme.
I'm like, I'll just chuck the whole thing
I
in
love
and
it
pull
with
it out.
beef.
And
Yeah, that's what I do.
yeah.
For sure.
Too much time consuming.
I actually made an
Oh.
amazing ottolenghi recipe. So in one of his pantry box, I think it was the first one. It's like a white bean, and you make it oil, and it's got like thyme, rosemary.
Yeah. That's quite a
heaps of
famous recipe of
heaps
his, that one,
orange,
eh?
preserved
Yep.
lemon, chili, garlic, and it's got rosemary and thyme.
Yeah.
And if you love thyme, you'll love that recipe. And
Yeah.
you can just like put it on. It's just
You'd like his
it's-
recipe.
Oh,
Yeah, he's good to watch too on
Yeah.
social media.
Yes, he is. And they've got
Yeah.
their whole team, eh? In the
Yeah.
test kitchen, and they go out to the garden
It's pretty
and
cool.
pick their herbs and stuff.
ottolenghi,
Need more of that here.
what it like literally changed the world.
Yeah. Did I?
Nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. Like
Yeah.
I think he's probably one of the world's most famous chefs.
Yeah.
And
In a good way. Like in a
but
great,
like thank
great
God
way.
he did his book simple because
Yes,
the
it's
other
a
ones
simple
would
one,
like
Too
when I
complicated.
one of my besties Clifton who's come over and he's like, oh God, she's cooking out of that book again. We're never gonna be eating at fucking midnight.
Oh, that's
You know, because there's like 45 things and you've got to do 25, like because
Yeah,
it's designed like all that food was made for a culture where women were at home all day
All
cooking.
day.
That's what they
Right.
did. That was their job, to start cooking at 9, and by 5 there was dinner on the table. Whereas we come and we start cooking at like fucking 7 or something. And then you're like, like sometimes I just get to 9 o'clock and I'm like, I quite like a fried egg on toast for dinner too. Even.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
eggs are
used
good.
to love an egg on toast for dinner.
That's what I do with sesh oil. So I put like butter,
Egg.
sesh oil,
Mm.
and then fried
Fried
eggs in it
Yeah, so it's good to scramble
with
eggs.
tomatoes.
I feel like I've been a lot better lately because I've like got a boyfriend now. So if he's there, we'll make dinner,
Yeah.
which is like quite nice. And we've been trying to do a Sunday roast. I've never done a Sunday roast in my life, but with all the kids and like trying to like have them properly all focused on the Sunday meal.
Do
And
you know who you should talk to? Speaking of Sunday roast, is we just about to do a little collab with a family. It's a lamb product called Middlehurst Lamb.
we
Oh,
work
no,
with them.
yeah.
They're
Oh, do
great.
you?
Yeah, absolutely
I
love them.
literally, what a beautiful family, what
Yeah.
an amazing product.
Beautiful people.
Oh,
What are you guys doing with
get some
them? Are you
Middlehurst
doing
on your plate
have
if
you
you're
got
doing a
a
Sunday roast?
collab coming up with them?
Yes. I think we're doing lamb rib. Because we wanted to do something that was like a little like different,
Yeah.
you know. And so I think we're obviously doing a burger.
Yeah.
And
Funny that, eh?
oh yeah, and ribs.
I don't eat lamb. Well, I'm obsessed with them. I will eat lamb from day long.
Lamb ribs. Oh, okay. Yum.
And
That
but
sounds
their product
amazing.
is just so, and like for me,
The quality, eh?
you know, my husband's like, gotta get the budget under control, and he's like, what about the shopping? And I'm like, you just can't touch. Like, you don't understand how I feel about food.
Yeah.
Quality food, like
Yeah.
it's my thing.
Yeah, same.
And like, if you like, I'm just never gonna be the mum that feeds my kids, and I'm not judging anybody in any shape or form when I say this, but like, I won't be
Kinda.
buying bulk frozen chicken nuggets from,
Yeah,
it's just not her. It's just not
Yeah.
how. It's not how I brought up.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
it just feels like, even with Olympia.
Yeah.
So my daughter's she's 100% pig tube fed.
Yeah.
And when she first got her tube, they were like, "Here, this is a complete meal," and it was like this, come in a bag, and it was like, looked like kind of like a protein shake.
Like a formula kind
and
of
they're like, it's
situation.
complete food. I'm like, that is not fucking food.
Yeah, so do
It's
you
got
make
like
your
a
purees
It's got like a 2-year like expiry date on
Yeah.
it. Like, and so
Oh,
then
wow.
actually her neurologist is really amazing and holistic, and I talked to her about putting her on CBD, and she's like, do you know what? I actually think a ketogenic diet will be more effective.
Mm.
And so she's on a ketogenic diet, and we make it. That's why my Thermomix gets hammered.
Yeah.
So she has like a basically like a smoothie in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just like avocados and
Yeah.
LSA and yogurt, and then we have like a few different recipes with like salmon, beetroot, like
Yeah.
oil, nut butters,
Yeah.
just stuff like that. And but everything has to be
Wow.
weighed.
Yeah, okay.
I can like weigh, cook, chop, like
Yeah.
puree in there, and yeah.
Mm.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
She had a massive trauma or occlusion in womb. So her blood flow just got cut off long enough to severely damage her brain,
Okay.
but then not long enough to kill her, basically. So her brain is just really, really, really damaged. When she was first born, they were like, it's 8.5 out of 9 out of 10. Like, the neurologist and my obstetrician were crying when they came in and told me.
Mm.
And even like my obstetrician, I said to her like a year later, like, how often does this happen? And she's like, it's literally the worst outcome I've ever had in 20 years, maybe.
Was it cord? Or
They
no?
don't really know. She had a hypercoiled umbilical cord. So if you think about umbilical cords, I don't know if you know this, but they actually look like an old phone
Okay.
wire.
Yeah.
And so hers was tight.
Yeah.
Some can be loose, some can be tight. And obviously that's where all the blood flow and the oxygen's going from the mother to the baby.
Mm.
And so, but they don't think it was that's not necessarily enough. I think it was just an angle, and it was, like something at some stage was just like almost like bent or pressured or something that just stopped that blood flow just long enough.
Mm.
And so she's got quadriplegic spastic cerebral palsy, so she can't control or move 90% of her body intentionally, and she's non-verbal, 100% tube fed, and she's epileptic.
How old is she now?
She's 7.
Okay.
So, but she's just a beautiful, beautiful angel, and this is her.
Yes,
actually.
it's
Oh,
beautiful.
lovely.
Gorgeous.
And we have an amazing team around us, and yeah, it's the hardest thing in the world, and I would never wish it on anybody ever. I think there's a little bit of me that's broken forever, and we've had like the last few weeks. It's just it's almost like we just spend a lot of time at Starship. I bounce between like 5 different specialties. Like it's a constant medication juggle. Like it's just so hard. Like for me, who's like got the capability and knows it through effort or energy, or that I can generally always solve anything, and you just get given this thing that you love more than anything, and you just have very little control over the outcome, and that's really confronting.
That must be, yeah.
But she
No
lives a
words.
good life. I focus on what I try and focus on what I can contribute and what I can control, and so we have like goals around having therapy and support and people around her that she feels loved, safe, and supported, and that we try and work towards giving her as much of a sense of independency, independence. God, I can't talk. As we possibly can. So she's got a system which is a screen, and she's learning to communicate with her eyes. Like, it's pretty nuts, and I have
Wow,
but it's a lot.
amazing, eh?
Yeah, how's she going with that?
It's really good. It's just like some of her meds, if they get too high, it affects her eyesight. So it's quite fascinating. Like we use our eyes reactively. We don't use them intentionally as a muscle. So you have to learn to control them in that way.
Yep.
And so they start actually just with games. So like there's like pictures of our family faces like flying around the screen, and if she looks at it, throws a pie in our face. And so they kind of use gamification and fun things and children, to teach cause and effect. And then they move to yes and no, and then they kind of like start introducing more less stop,
Yeah.
and then they expand it. It's a system called Pod, and then eventually she'll be able to string sentences together, apparently.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So have you got a carer full time
We've got lots.
at home?
Yeah, we've got like 2 or 3. We've got 2 week daytime, and then a night carer.
Yeah.
And then she has like 4 or 5 different therapists, and then we sit across 4 different specialties at Starship.
So do they stay live in the home with you?
We did have. We actually fought ACC for 5 years, and we won after 5 years. And before that, we did everything under the sun to make it work. So at one stage, I had 2 au pairs living in my house, and one of them was an OT that came from Germany. She was really passionate about working with kids with special needs, and the other was trained in education and was really passionate about working with special needs. So like, they were still specialised, but they lived in a house, and I'm just so used to people being in my house. Like that was a big adjustment.
Yeah.
There's just people in our house
All the time. Yeah.
But I need them, and they are, I think one of the most amazing, well not amazing, it was just like such a pivotal moment for me was like when she was little. I went to one of her therapists once, who was this like quite eccentric older woman, and she just said, Mimi, I need to tell you something. I was like, okay. She's like, I've got another mother like you, and you both need to hear this, and this is what I'm going to say to you. It's okay that you just want to be her mother. You don't have to be her carer.
Yeah.
And if the best thing that you can do is find people that can care for her, then that is being her mother. And I was just like, what? Because I was like, my nature, I have a certain type of nature. I'm an A-type personality. As we've discussed, I've got ADD. Her carers are just angels. They have these beautiful, patient, like, I wanted to be a mother more than anything, but yeah.
I can imagine the mental battle that just having someone say that to you would have been like.
Yeah, it was just like she
Wow.
just gave me permission.
To be her mum. Yeah.
So Olympia she eats better than anyone in our entire family. I buy like organic everything.
Your other kids say, I suppose Augustus is still a little baby, so he's probably not.
Beautiful woman who makes bone broth for me.
Oh.
I don't have time to do that. And so she, her food is all made with like everything's organic and everything's organic.
Where did your kids' names come from?
Yeah, an O trend going on.
I know. I couldn't do the third. That would have been the Kardashians.
That's so cool. Gus is absolutely brilliant. Love it.
He's so delicious.
He's absolutely delicious. I was looking at pictures this morning.
I know. The chubbiest of all chubbies. My mum actually wanted to call me Olympia, and I think in my head that was there. And to be honest, I went to the back social pages on the Tatler magazine. I love English names. Yeah. And I just was like, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to give them something that was really independent and strong. Yeah. Yeah. And unusual. Not unusual, but like,
different.
Yeah, different.
Yeah. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you. Yeah,
They're all beautiful names.
so
Actually,
we have
love them.
Olympia,
Yeah.
Octavia, and Augustus.
Yeah.
Oh, very
My
cool.
little boy. Yeah. So they're all Greek, you know,
very
and
Greek.
but
And
Yeah.
ages 7.
so Olympia's 7. Octavia's 5. She just turned 5 last week, and Augustus is 7 months old.
So have you been back in New Zealand because you were in Aussie for a while?
Yeah, yeah. I spent a big chunk of my 20s in Sydney.
Okay.
You
And
come
then I
back to have
came back.
kids.
I actually came back. Well, I actually came back for a project. I got brought back. I was working for a company called Brand Events in Australia, and they do the taste festivals.
Okay.
Yeah. And they brought me back to do the food show and the Rugby World Cup in the cloud.
Yeah.
So we designed that and ran that, and I was supposed to just come and do that, and then go back to Australia, and then I ended up traveling between Australia and New Zealand for the next 2 years, and then I moved back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So in your past you had restaurants in Australia as
Yeah,
well. is that
I
right?
lived in Australia. Yeah, yeah, I did in Australia, and then I obviously came back to New Zealand. I had district dining, and then we did Mexico.
At what
yeah.
point did you switch husbands? Because
Around the time that I came back to New Zealand.
oh yeah, okay.
No, so we had I love Ron. He is a very, very clever chef. He's
Yeah.
a really beautiful man. We went through a lot of pressure in our businesses in Australia,
Yeah.
and I was traveling a lot, and I just put a lot of pressure, ultimately on our relationship. And I think, I just one day was just like I just knew that I couldn't be like he was my best friend, and I probably shouldn't have married him rather than my parents separated. And I think I was like seeking this idea of, like I need like family again in a weird way, like control. And
Were you quite young when you got married?
well, 20, 25,
Yeah.
too young. You don't know what you're doing until you're 30.
feel
I
like I
reckon. Don't make any like major life decision now.
Before no, but I like everyone's leaving it much later now. Like all my friends who are sort of 30 are not
Yeah.
even close, whereas I was like
And then
24,
Yeah,
and I was like, right, I've done my travel. I'm gonna get married now. And
yeah.
get married, and then you're like, gosh, like why? But it's great now because
Yeah.
I'm like, wow,
You've got grown up.
marriage, kids, business,
Yeah.
tick,
Tick.
35.
Check out.
Clock life.
Yeah. I'm out. I'm retiring.
Holiday
So
mode, eh?
funny, like yeah, and you don't often look at it that way, but people do say it. They're like you don't have anything to worry about. It's not like you're on a ticking clock to have kids. Like
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm entering the next phase of my life, which is like dating someone else with kids,
Oh yeah.
which is just like
what you're
holy
doing, isn't it?
shit. That's the hardest thing. That's harder than anything I've ever had to navigate.
Really?
Yeah, because
Does he have kids?
yeah, two.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now you've got 4 kids.
Well, that's the thing, but like
Doubled.
trying to like
Do they get along? The kids?
the kids get along really well.
Awesome.
Um,
Do
but
they
trying to
entertain each other?
they do.
Okay, great.
But like trying to
It's a lot of relationships to juggle.
you're trying to protect your kids, but not favor them and treat everyone equally. But then like you can't, you can't growl the other kids that you way that you would growl your kids. So like there's no equality there. But you like.
Well, I think you can. Can't you
well,
just say my house, my rules?
Well, we kind of do, but then you got to like expect. So like my kids aren't allowed soft drinks, as kids are, and so we go out and I take them to movies and they eat, and I'm like, well, I can't really like change what you've already always been allowed to have, and then I'm like, but I'm not sorry, I'm not. And my kids are like,
Yeah, you're ruining my life.
literally, like they're having soft drink. They stay up till 9 p.m. I'm like, well, this is not how we work it in our house.
I think you should just have a rule that like when they're in one place, that's the rules, and because I don't think that is going to work well.
It's just amazing,
Not gonna
like
end well.
the things that you. But like every day there's a new bridge, right? And you
Yeah.
think you solve a problem, and then each day there's like, oh, didn't expect
and
this,
then your
didn't
own
expect
hospitality
this, didn't
businesses,
expect
and you're
this.
like,
So
makes you
yeah,
the most resilient human on the
you're
planet.
just problem solving wherever you go, eh?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what.
I was talking to someone. That's why I think we called that talk that we did last. Like, what the fuck does balance
What is
mean?
balance?
Because
Yeah.
like, it's interesting. I don't know. Like, I have always been ambitious. I have always been entrepreneurial. I'm literally addicted to a little bit. I'm not addicted to chaos. I think it's just the way my brain works, and I just like thrive in that environment. But I always wanted to be a mother, and and I've always been quite fit and healthy, and I just can't. I actually can't do it anymore. Like I'm at maximum capacity, and I'm like, got to give my kids time, got to go to the gym, because I know that it makes me, I feel better when I'm exercising. Then you've got friendships, and then you've got your marriage, and then you've got like you go to work and you're just like, you know, and I'm just like, I'm going to move to an island and you're going to come with me.
Yeah. Something's always like
Something's not getting, I know.
juggling the glass balls, right? Whose is that? Brene Brown. I heard that saying. She's like, so you're always juggling balls, right?
Yeah.
Always juggling balls. There's 10 balls in the air. And you just got to figure out which one's a glass at that time and that particular day.
Yeah.
Like, is it the cross country, you know, like, or
Yeah.
is it this, or is it this, or like, if I drop that one, is something going to break? Like,
Yeah,
figure out what one's a plastic, and it doesn't matter if you drop them,
Yeah.
and figure out what one's a glass.
Like my 5-year-old,
Yeah.
weirdly, in the last 3 weeks, is suddenly asking for cuddles. And I'm like, what? Is something gone so wrong that my 5-year-old's having to ask for cuddles, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's-
ooh.
But there might also just be like a
Yeah, she's like, what about me? Because
yeah,
it's me. Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's.
I
just
know.
a
I just
phase.
these things like that pop up, and you're just like, whoa, you
Yeah.
know, like
I do find I don't have kids to juggle, but
Yeah.
I do find that when you put yourself first, like in terms of like exercise or
Yeah.
eating well,
Yeah.
everything else becomes a lot easier to figure out as
Yeah.
well. Like you just become more
Yeah.
focused on
it's
the
my
other side.
fallback.
Mm.
I have this like thing where I'm like, what? And then I'll just go like,
Take care of
right,
yourself.
I know I need to cut back the alcohol, go
Mm.
back to the gym 5 days,
Mm.
eat better, like get out of the toast space and get back into the like making yourself like you know
Yeah.
like a proper breakfast or like a
Mm.
sandwich for like even if it's a sandwich for lunch, like you know that protein and vegetables and green things are good for you, like, and you actually just feel 10 times better when you do it.
Yeah,
you know.
do. Yeah.
But for some reason, it just feels easier to make a piece of toast with peanut butter on it. But
Yeah, I
it's actually
know.
just like you're already doing it. Just put the bloody lettuce in it and make it a sandwich.
So funny, isn't it? How it's like this. We were talking about the drinking last night. How it's like
She says.
We
"This is
know.
anything, Zach. Can I have a beer?"
we know how it affects us. Like it's just something I'm constantly like, right, I'm done. I want to be fit. I want to eat better. I want to like,
Yeah.
but then like I just love it. Like I
I
just love
know.
it. Just like fills my cup.
It's pretty fun, eh?
But then your whole next week is like,
I can't drink wine anymore. Like I love wine so much.
yeah,
But
red
it
wine.
kills
Red wine's
me.
particularly killer, eh?
Why?
But yeah, like what's the long-term solution to this? Like, how do we like?
I've done pretty big stretches. So like after Olympia, I put on 25 kilos with Olympia. 25 kilos. She was 2.2 kilos. Okay? Just to put it into perspective. And after that, I did like a 6-month or 9-month stretch where I was like no alcohol, exercising 5 days a week, and eating well.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about. I just said I'm just going to do 1 month, and I'm going to get to the end of that month. And once I get on the once I
Yeah.
start seeing results and I get on the train, then I'll just keep pushing it out.
Yeah.
But like at the moment, I think about alcohol a lot because I just don't think it's good for us. It's definitely not good for me. It's not good for your
Yeah.
mental health. But I also do love it, and I just think it's like I think you just got to put some structure in it. And I think it's just about looking in the mirror and going, do I think that I can? Am I in a space to do this without it causing more harm?
Yeah.
And you know, and
Yeah.
just be a big girl and you
Make
know,
big decisions, eh?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
just got the most terrible rubber arm on planet, eh? Like
You're a rubber girl.
I'm
eh?
just waiting for someone to suggest it.
yeah. Me too, but that's
Just a
me
little glint
too.
in your eye, like.
I do, eh? Like so quiet night. Yep. Leave my car at home then.
Totally. Like, but you also need that escapism, you know, like.
Yeah, we often talk
Keep it
about
real,
that,
you
Campbell. It is a bit of escapism
Oh,
sometimes,
absolutely.
eh?
I use it to medicate. I
Yeah.
use it to numb, or just to like
It helps you switch off.
quiet
that's-
my
is that
brain, isn't
fine?
it? So yeah,
Like,
it's.
is that fine
it is fine.
sometimes to do, as long as you're not
As long as
damaging
you're not like
anyone else,
doing it
right?
at 9 o'clock in the morning every day,
Yeah.
that's probably not fine.
No.
Also, one of I don't know, one of our favorite things is to sit around, have a drink, and talk nonsense. You know, like,
Oh god, yeah, we talk absolute dribble.
but you know, like it's
We sound like completely unintelligent humans, eh? Like some of the shit that we talk.
Yeah, it's
but,
crack
like,
up
you just
there.
need that, like mind-numbing
know
stuff
what's gonna come out
sometimes,
of it.
eh?
sharing food. And yeah, it all goes hand in hand. I think.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you are right. You need to pick your spots. Like,
Yeah.
you can definitely end up in a dark
We all-
hole if you're just constantly doing it.
Yeah.
Right, we better wind up
Okay.
because we've got to get to Hamilton.
Yeah, we'll go to Hamilton.
Oh, you guys got one more event.
Yes, we
Do you
do.
want
We've
to talk
got
about that
questions.
quickly? And then
Oh yeah.
I actually did have one more question.
Okay, go.
I actually was curious to know the big difference between New Zealand and Australian food scene, like from. your
Well, you got to think about Australia as multiple different countries. So, like New Zealand's like one country,
Yeah.
and every state in Australia functions differently. So you're not dealing with one type of market. You're dealing with multiple, like very, very different markets.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like Melbourne and Sydney could not be any more different. And then you've got like Brisbane,
Mm.
and it's different again.
mm,
And
mm.
it's much more influential than New Zealand. Like like the media has quite a lot of influence over, you know.
Yeah.
It's tougher.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't adopt or adapt as fast as New Zealanders do.
Very interesting. I went to a talk the other night about the top 10 food trends in America, which was kind of relevant to what we got with Burger before, and like just how important trends can be.
Trends, yeah.
And then Australia is different with the trends as well. Like it's just so interesting. But
But
trends
it's a
here,
bigger market, right? But I think if you're going into Australia, pick one place to start.
yeah,
Like Sydney, they're not big food people. They're skinny. They don't like eating. Like they just eat. Like
Gym
Teresa
life,
Getting dragged me into her office once.
Mhm.
I just got this email like Teresa Getting would like to have a meeting with you, and I was like, okay. Just like 2 minutes in this office. She's like, I just want to talk to you about Australia because I just my food bag had just gone into Australia, but they went into Sydney,
Yeah.
and I said to her, look, everyone in Sydney like eats to live, whereas everyone in Melbourne lives to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like
Mm.
you
Different food scenes, eh?
opposite. Like literally, there's like Sydney's like it's like
It's
Fitzbo,
probably more
Yeah.
nightclubs than there is.
skinny, like
Yeah.
literally they just it's like food's kind of like
but then Melbourne's so cool.
yeah.
Like, are they dining out more than cooking at home? And that's why, because I don't think Melbourne will work for us because I'm like, they're not cooking basic meals. They're like
Yeah, I reckon you need to
doing
hit,
the
like,
most
Brisbane.
on trend, like somewhere
Adelaide.
different, like Perth.
Perth.
Yeah, Perth
Yeah,
probably.
But
Perth.
I don't think we're gonna hit anywhere
Adelaide.
now. Like it's just I don't think it's
Do you know
worth
who you
it.
should
Like,
talk
we need
to?
to nail.
I'm actually
New
going to talk to
Zealand.
you. Yeah. I think growth. Sometimes there's a little bit of me that was just like, I wish we just stayed with 2 restaurants.
Mm,
Right.
Like 100%. You know, like
yeah.
growth isn't always better.
No.
Growth in the same space. Get better.
Yeah.
And bigger in one space and like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
don't spread yourself too thin. But I do have a friend who specializes in consumer products in the food space in Australia, and you should talk to him. So,
Yeah.
like No Ugly are working with him. Like
Oh,
a
cool.
lot of New Zealand brands that are going to Australia, and he worked in the supermarket space for 15 years in Australia. He worked for Griffin's
Okay.
and he's now has got his own business and he contracts
Mm,
so he's your guy.
yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
Like
cool.
when I saw him a few weeks ago, and I was just like, I'm like, you know, like, what's the number one product like SKU going out of supermarkets? Guess.
Oh.
0% beer.
The number one SKU. The number one SKU going on in supermarkets. Oh, milk or bread?
Nah.
Cheese?
Health drinks, like fizzy drink.
No.
Greek yogurt. That's what I buy.
Pineapple.
Eggs, milk, bread, Greek yogurt, cheese, all sorts of cheeses. Rice, flour,
Close.
pasta.
No. Close. Getting there.
Noodles.
Instant noodles.
And
You
Aussie.
should make a hot pot pack.
Oh, it's a pepperoni ramen. Oh,
Yeah,
we're
that's a
doing
good
hot
idea.
sauce ramen.
Yeah.
Momofuku does dried ramen. Even that goes off.
Done.
Number one SKU.
And the
Oh my god, we've just sold all your, like yeah.
oh, done. Line it up. Do you know what else I want to do? Pepperoni flavored potato chips. I just need someone to do it for me at the potato chip factory. I was going to do it with Proper Crisp, but they've been sold now. So
Have they? What
Yeah.
about Snackachingy? Who's does that?
yes, the girls all next to them at field days.
They're
I've made
they're
friends.
blowing
Actually.
up.
They are
They're on the
Snackachingy,
air
eh?
here in New Zealand. You should do a little collab with them and see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I reckon
for
the
sure.
noodles, like if you could
Yeah.
do, that's why I asked you about your pasta.
Do a seasoning with the noodles.
But
Yeah,
also,
well-
could you do like soba bean noodle? I don't know. Is there someone in New Zealand that because you know Citizen,
Oh,
you
this is-
talk to them. They make new products with waste.
Waste
waste-
products. Eh?
yeah.
I've seen some of their stuff.
And I've seen, and also the other person who does like mind blowing stuff is wild wheat. I can't talk anymore.
yeah.
I think he's in an innovation. I think Citizen were working with them, and what they were doing was they were like getting old stale bread, turning it back into flour, and then making new bread. But they were
I
also
have
they
heard
could
of
make
this.
like pasta. Like there's like a lab,
Mm.
and like imagine if you could take like waste product from someone
And
like
reuse them.
Yeah.
and turn
that
it
was,
into an instant noodle
Yeah.
product that like
Yeah.
and speaking of sneaking things into kids' meals, like imagine nobody makes good, healthy, convenient meals for kids.
Yeah. Like a frozen fresh meal for kids. I told me this last night. Don't give away our ideas.
Anyway, so we
All
better
right,
wrap up.
Carrie, thanks for listening, guys. That's best podcast we've done in ages. Well done. Formative.
Go team!
See.
Go to
All right, have a
Burger.
good week. Bye.
Ciao!
Thanks for listening to the Pepper and Me podcast, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the products that we're talking about, you'll find us at pepperandme.co.nz.